Hello and welcome to Tutors. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe for watching more videos. So now after completing the living world and biological classification, we are going to the next chapter, plant kingdom. In biological classification, we have classified organisms into five kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Kingdom Monera, Protista, and Fungi were discussed earlier. So now we are going to start with Kingdom Plantae. So the plant kingdom, according for our convenience, I have divided into three parts. So let us start with the first part. So uh, first we are going to see about the types of classification that are present within the plant kingdom. Like how did we classify plants? So the first type of classification is the artificial system of classification. It is mainly based upon the gross morphological characters such as habit, color, number, and shapes of leaves. And they are mainly based upon the vegetative characters or on the androecium structure, like the system given by Linnaeus. Such systems are actually artificial because why? They separated even the closely related species since they were based upon only a few characteristics. Moreover, they gave equal weightage to the vegetative and sexual characters, though we know that vegetative characters are more easily affected by the environment. So, against this, we have the natural system of classification, which is based upon the natural affinities among the organisms. And in addition to those gross morphological features, we also consider the internal features like ultrastructure, anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, etc. Such a classification was given by George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. Next, we have the phylogenetic system of classification, which, as the name suggests, is based upon the evolutionary relationship between the organisms. It assumes that the organisms belonging to the same taxa have a common ancestor, and they become more important when there is no supporting fossil evidence. Now, let us see some taxonomy. The first one is a numerical taxonomy, which is easily carried out using the computers and is based on all observable characteristics. Numbers and codes are assigned to all those characters and then these data are processed. So if we take a plan and we describe all the characteristics one by one, there are different so each character is given a code. So what happens is that in such a way, hundreds of characters can be considered. The next is the cytotaxonomy based upon the cytological information that is made on the cell structure like the chromosome number, structure, behavior, etc. Next is the chemotaxonomy that uses chemical constituents of plants to resolve confusions. So we discussed about the three system of classification, which are they? They are artificial, natural, and phylogenetic. And the types of taxonomy, they are numerical taxonomy, cytotaxonomy, and chemotaxonomy. So now we are going to divide our kingdom Plantae into five divisions. They are Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, and Angiosperms. Once again, Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, Angiosperms. So we shall be discussing each of these divisions one by one. Let us start with Thallophyta. Now Thallophyta is also called kingdom algae because it mostly includes the algae. So let us start. Algae are chlorophyll bearing, simple thalloid, autotrophic, and largely aquatic organisms. That is, they can live in both freshwater and marine water. But sometimes they occur in other habitats also, like moist stones, soil, wood, and they may also occur in association with fungi like the lichens we discussed before, and also they may occur in association with sloth bear. size. So they have a variety of size, like they may range from the microscopic unicellular forms like Chlamydomonas to colonial forms like volvox or filamentous forms like Eulothrix and Spirogyra. Or sometimes they may even form massive plant bodies such as kelps. So we have seen the different variety of size algae can have. Now to say about the reproduction in algae, vegetative reproduction is mostly by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction is mainly by different types of spores, the most common being the zoospores. They are flagellated and motile, and on germination, they can give rise to new plants. Sexual reproduction can take place through the fusion of two gametes. Now, to say about these two gametes, the gametes may be similar in size. They are called isogamous as seen in Eulothrix, or they may be non-flagellated but similar in size. That is Spirogyra. Oh, so initially the first one is Eulothrix is flagellated and similar in size, and Spirogyra are non-flagellated but similar in size. Or anisogamous, that is the both gametes are dissimilar in size. And sometimes it may be oogamous, that is the fusion between one large non-motile male gamete and a small motile female gamete. So an example for that is volvox and fucus. Anisogamous is Eudorina. Now we are going to discuss about the uses of algae. So algae, half of the total carbon dioxide on earth is fixed by algae through photosynthesis. And they are the primary producers of energy rich compounds in the food cycles of all aquatic animals. Many species of algae are also used as food, like Porphyria, Laminaria, and Sargassum, along with some 70 species of marine algae are being used as food. They also produce hydrocolloids, which are the water-holding substance. Example, algin is brown algae. Algin produced by brown algae and carrageen produced by red algae. So algin and carrageen are the hydrocolloids or water-holding substance. Next we have an important substance called agar. Agar is produced by Gelidium and Gracilaria. Now agar is commercially very important because it helps in to grow microbes and in preparation of ice creams and jellies. So next we have the unicellular algae like chlorella and spirulina, which are very rich in proteins and are used as food supplements by the space travelers. So now we are going to classify these algae further into different classes. That is Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. So let us start with the class Chlorophyceae. Now the class Chlorophyceae, the members are commonly called green algae. Why? Because they are green in color. They are unicellular, colonial or filamentous, and they are usually grass green due to the dominance of pigments like chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So we can understand that there are different types of chlorophyll like chlorophyll A, B, C and D. So Chlorophyceae consist of chlorophyll A and B, which are located in structures called chloroplast. These chloroplasts may be discoid, plate-like, reticulate, cup-shaped, spiral or ribbon-shaped in different species. So, like we know Spirogyra is having a ribbon-shaped chloroplast. So, most of these chloroplasts also contain some storage bodies called pyrenoids. So, the pyrenoids contain proteins besides starch. Some algae may store food even in the form of oil droplets. So, such green algae have a rigid cell wall, which is made up of an inner layer of cellulose and an outer layer of pectose. And to say about their reproduction, the vegetative reproduction is by fragmentation or spore formation. Asexual reproduction is by the formation of flagellated zoospores, which are produced in structures called zoosporangia. The sexual reproduction, it may be isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. So let us see the different examples of alga, that is green alga, Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix, Spirogyra and Cara. So this is a picture in the textbook, and the first picture is of Volvox. You can see that so many daughter colonies are present inside a parent colony. The second picture is of Chlamydomonas, and the third picture is of Cara. Next we are going to the next class, that is Phaeophyceae. The members of Phaeophyceae are called brown algae, and they are primarily found in the marine habitat. They show great variation in size and form. That is, they can be simple branched or filamentous forms like ectocarpus, or profusely branched forms like kelp, which may reach to a height of 100 meters. And they contain pigments like chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, carotenoids, and xanthophylls. So they show a variety in color from olive green to various shades of brown, depending upon the amount of xanthophyll or fucoxanthin that is present in them. Now we have the food. The food is in the form of complex carbohydrates that may be in the form of laminiarin or mannitol. The cell wall have a cellulosic cell wall covered on outside by a gelatinous coating called algin. So we have learned about algin. They are hydrocolloids. They are being used as hydrocolloid by us. Now the plant body can be divided into three parts. That is, they are attached to the substratum by a holdfast, a root-like holdfast, and then it has a stalk-like structure called stipe, and it has leaf-like photosynthetic organ called frond. So it can be divided into three parts: holdfast, stipe, and frond. Now we can go to the reproduction. The reproduction, vegetatively, it may divide by fragmentation. Asexual reproduction is by biflagellate zoospores that are pear-shaped, and they also have two unequal laterally attached flagella. Sexual reproduction may be again isogamous, anisogamous, or oogamous. Now, in case of oogamous species, the union of gametes may take place in water or within the oogonium. The gametes are pyriformed or pear-shaped. The common forms are ectocarpus, dictyota, laminaria, sargassum, and fucus. So let us see this picture. So we have the three types of brown algae. The first one is laminaria. It is looking like a leaf. It has three parts: a holdfast, stipe, and frond. The second part is fucus, which also consists of a holdfast. Now, it consists of air bladders and also a midrib. Similarly, we have the next structure, dictyota. So next, we are going on to Rhodophyceae. The members of Rhodophyceae are called red algae because of the presence of the red pigment R-phycoerythrin in their body. Now, most of them are marine algae, and they are found in the warmer areas. They may occur in both well-lighted regions close to the surface of water, or also at great depth in ocean where relatively little light penetrates. So remember that Rhodophyceae or red algae, they can be located very deep inside the ocean, and their thallus is multicellular. Now to say about their food. Their food is stored as Floridian starch, which is very similar to the structure of amylopectin and glycogen. To say about the reproduction, vegetatively it is dividing by fragmentation, asexually through non-motile spores, and sexually through non-motile gametes. Now the sexual reproduction is oogamous and they're accompanied by complex post-fertilizational developments. Remember, they're oogamous and they're followed by complex post-fertilizational events. Now we have some members here which are porphyria. The porphyria, it is actually red, and the next one is Polysiphonia. The remaining members, it may be Gracilaria, Gelidium. Gracilaria and Gelidium, we have mentioned they produce agar. So we have this table in our textbook which clearly demarcates all these three classes along with their features. That is, we have Chlorophyceae, common name, green algae. Major pigment is chlorophyll A and B. Stored food is in the form of starch. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. And flagellar number is 2 to 8 and their number is equal and they are located apically. And habitat is both freshwater, brackish water, salt water. Phaeophyceae, brown algae. Major pigment is chlorophyll A, C, fucoxanthin. Stored food is in the form of mannitol and laminarin. Cell wall consists of cellulose and algin. And flagellar number is 2. And the flagella are unequal and they are inserted laterally. And they are mostly found in brackish water and salt water. Fresh water is rare. And finally, we have the Rhodophyceae, which are called red algae. They consist of chlorophyll A, D, and R phycoerythrin. Food is in the form of Floridian starch, and the cell wall consists of cellulose, pectin, and polysulfate esters. And the flagella are actually absent. The habitat is freshwater for some, and brackish and salt water for most of them. So we have completed the first part. In the next part, we will be discussing about the next divisions, that is bryophytes and pteridophytes. Thank you.